Taking pictures, right? Is there a certain type of art or certain type of way to take a picture? What is the when you learn how to take pictures, especially in football, does somebody tell you you need to be at this angle and capture their face, or what do you go for? What type of things do you go for?
I mean, there's a lot of people call them rules in photography. So you got the rule of thirds. There's like a lot of these things, like shooting at a certain shutter speed, or shooting this things you gotta look for. You gotta have it look a certain way. There are some things that I will always do in my photos, because like I for the most part always level my photos, because I like it when they're level. But there's no, as long as you're capturing a moment, like you can, that's where sort of like, that's why I like to call it art, not content, because no one's gonna get the same shot that I'm gonna take. And even if they have the same camera, they're staying at the same place, they're gonna look at that and see it differently than I am, right? So like, let's say like you have different, basically everyone has their different vision. So I sometimes see photographers stand right behind the goal, and that's not something that most people would do, but they know what they want to get from out of this. And it's these sort of, it's that's what makes it so interesting to me, is like you can really bring in your own point of view. So like when I started shooting, I remember like I just watched as many videos as I could, and I still keep some of what I've learned through them today. They were like, you want a player's eyes, you want to be able to see the whites in their eyes. That's a sign that you got the shot, if you can see the whites, because their eyes are open and they're looking at the ball. You want the ball in the shot. And for the first 2 years, I took that, I used that so intently. All my shots had to fit this sort of like this frame. But in all honesty, it's just one way of doing it. But I've shot games in, some of my favorite photos break these rules. They're slightly out of focus, but they're more interesting to me. I think just bringing in your own kind of style is the best thing you can do, because no one's going to do it exactly like you do. Take advantage of that. Obviously, for the most part, photographers shoot with a fast shutter speed, meaning like they capture the frame very quickly. But I've accidentally, there have been times where for video you got to switch your settings, shoot at low shutter speed. And I've switched back to photo, but I forgot to switch my settings back to match that I'm on the photo. So I've taken shots that basically kind of will capture the motion blur. Like if a player is moving their hand, you won't see a static shot of their hand, but you'll see it moving across. And that's happened completely by accident to me before. And to be honest, I'm never disappointed when it does, because it's just a different way of looking at a scene. I don't think there's necessarily a right way. I just think that people kind of learn what works and what doesn't. And a lot of the time people will use the same techniques overall for what does work. But, there's nothing wrong with shooting a different way. I think it's, as long as you're doing what you think is best, then you're going to get the shots you want.
Makes sense. Thank you for coming on, and that was so insightful, giving your input and your insight into taking pictures. Most of the things that you mentioned, I had no clue about before today, and it's so refreshing to hear a different point of view in football. Not everybody has the same experiences. Point proven with yourself. Somebody who's running operations, for example, on a match day will have a totally different experience to you. So I'm just really excited with the way Canadian football, soccer is heading. It's going to create a lot of opportunities, and a lot of doors are going to open for people like yourself. And I'm just really excited to see what happens. Yeah, just end on that basically. How you see Canadian football soccer going, and where you see yourself going with that.
Yeah, like in the past year, like Canada, we brought home gold at the Olympics. We've beaten Mexico, we've beaten the United States. It's a really exciting time. I think it's something that's a long time coming, because like Canada's a country of immigrants. Like everyone I know, most people I know have one, two immigrant parents or immigrants themselves. And I think, to be able to finally reflect that in our football is something that I'm so excited about. I think, even after the World Cup, like I think that we have such an exciting time. I think anyone who wants to support the sport in this country, national team is amazing. Keep cheering on the national team. Is mainstream now, and that's exactly how it should be. But even just try going out there supporting CPL clubs. The level might not be the same as the national team, but this is the only way we're going to see growth. We needed this we've been begging for this for so long, and this is the best way to watch the sport grow in this country, is to get out there and just support CPL clubs, grassroots clubs, even your MLS club, anything like that, just to watch the sport grow. It's an exciting time. I promise anyone who wants to get into Canadian football will not be disappointed, no matter what level they start watching.
So you're telling everyone basically ditch the hockey sticks and pick up a football.
Listen, that's what I did when I was 10 years old. So, and it worked out pretty well for me. I think people in general will be pretty happy if they do too.
Okay, on that ending notes, make sure you like it. If you did like the video, make sure you subscribe. And like I said, I want to provide a lot of Canadian-based content for you guys, because I know a lot of people who do subscribe to the channel are from Canada. So I don't want to let you down 100%. Thanks for coming on, Catherine, and check out his stuff. What pages do you have, and where to find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram at Kevin Giu, or at Kevin G, so KEVERENG. On Twitter, it's my full name at Kevin Giu, and I have a link on my YouTube channel as well, my bio. Sometimes I just like I said, I throw my phone on my camera and just sort of document the game and my experience shooting it, if you want to see that. But yeah, honestly, just it just being able to come on here and talk to you is the best way I think I can help reach out and show people what I do. So thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming on, and thanks for sharing your story. That's what we're about. FOOTY 258 support section.
For more content like this, like, share, and subscribe.